everyone, it's Carla back again with another video. Today we're going to be discussing how I organize myself to get my orders out. If you recall, in one of my past videos, I did like a drop week vlog where I took you along my whole week leading up to my drop. And then at the end, I asked you if you wanted to see how I'm going to get my orders out. And a lot of you said yes, because I mentioned that once you get to a certain order volume, things get a little more overwhelming and you kind of have to figure out what works for you. So I'm going to talk about all of that today. I want to give a little disclaimer though. My way of doing things may not work for you because I'm a single mom of just one daughter, and this is my full-time income, and that's relevant because I get to stay home all day and make my own schedule. My daughter is 4 now, and we've been gentle parenting since she was a baby, so she is super into independent play, which is huge to allow me to work. Whenever I am working, she is busy playing, and it just works for us, and then we can come at the end of the day together and go out and do stuff and have our bonding time, whatnot. But I just want to preface that because, of course, your lifestyle and everything is going to affect how much time you can dedicate to your shop. I am a high order volume shop. I have been for 2 years now. So that's why I want to share kind of what works for you, like once you get to this level. What works for me once I got to this level. Again, I've been doing this for like 2 years now at this order volume, high order volume. I always want to put quotes because it's all relative. And I also want to link another video that I did last year, because last year I showed you kind of a walkthrough of everything that I do. I do very similar things, but I kind of changed it up a little bit just because some days, that strategy gets boring, so you kind of have to shift and make it more interesting, especially for me, because I do have, like all of these mental health issues. So some days I just need to do things a little bit differently. But yeah, I'm going to link that video because that one goes more in depth on how I do my spreadsheet. So if you need tips for the spreadsheet, that one goes more in detail of how I do it. But this video specifically is going to touch on some of my more up-to-date strategies and things like that. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Transition. Sorry, you can hear my air conditioning, it just turned on. Okay, but anyways, first things first, right after the drop, I run to my laptop, or actually I'm always on my laptop during the drop. But anyways, right after the drop, I chill, whatever. And then I get back on and I export all of my orders. If you're using Shopify, export your orders. It's going to be a time saver, a lifesaver, and whatnot. Because in that first video that I linked down below, I was typing everything out myself, which is crazy. But now I export everything out, and you're gonna get a whole bunch of information. So I'm gonna show you which columns that I do. Or actually, let me see if I can quickly delete these names and then show you. Oh, but it still has the order number. Okay, anyways. So in the first column, I like to keep the order number. And then in the second column, I like to keep the shipping name. Hear me out. Whenever I'm packaging, or throughout the years, I've realized like sometimes people will pay with one name and they're shipping it to a different name. So then when I get to a package, I'm like, wait, who is this? So you definitely want to get the shipping name from the columns. There's going to be different columns, and one of them says shipping name, so get the shipping name. And then that's when I have all of the items next listed. I don't know if it's going to focus, but then I put all the items in this big column, the one that's like highlighted and everything like that. So that's what I mainly focus on whenever I'm trying to go into production mode. And then the last thing I include is just the notes. Some people will put notes, which is cool. So anyways, after that is how that's what I'm gonna can't talk about that. After this, I like to use this spreadsheet to calculate how much fabric I'm going to need. Now, I know a lot of people always ask me this as well, like, do you get your fabric beforehand, do you get your fabric afterhand? I try to buy as much fabric as I can after the drop. Sometimes I'll carry like a few of the prints on hand, but I mostly get the fabric to make the samples of what I'm selling, and then I get everything afterwards. A lot of people ask me, like, how do you make sure that's not going to sell out? Well, most of the time I get custom fabric, and if I'm getting retail fabric, like solids, I'll just message the person directly, the fabric shop owner directly, and be like, hey, can you keep an eye out on this and this and this for me to see if it sells out, like I'm having my drop today, blah, blah, blah. And they'll actually do it for you, which is nice, because then you can, from a relationship with them that's mutually beneficial. Because if they say, hey, this is kind of running low, I'll be like, sell me whatever you have left, and then obviously, you know, that sells them out and they're doing good in their business, and then you get your fabric. And like I said, mutually beneficial. So if you're ever wondering, like, or worried about that, just message the fabric shop owner and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you out. So next thing I do is I use the control find feature on my spreadsheet. I think it's Apple F on MacBooks, or I don't know anything about products, but I think that's what it is. So anyways, I use the find feature to find how many of one print am I going to need. So like, let's say for example, I have a spring floral that I sold in one of my drops, and then it comes out to like 80 tops for that spring floral fabric. Then I know, okay, how to calculate how much fabric to need for those tops. Roughly, if you don't just have like a specific style and you're doing like a bunch of styles, roughly I like to calculate 3 items per yard. Again, roughly, like you have to guesstimate and do, you know, some major math when it comes to calculating fabric. But for the most part, I like to find how many items did I sell with this fabric and convert it to how many yards. Again, it's going to vary on different items that you're selling, but for the most part, 3 items per yard is how I calculate mine. And then, you know, I write it all down and say, okay, I'm going to need 20 yards of this, 15 yards of this, only like 3 yards of this. So, you know, just so you know exactly how many yards you're going to need. So that is the second step. And then it's a waiting game. So depending on what custom fabric printer you use or who you're buying your fabric from, you definitely have to incorporate that into your turnaround time, the time that it takes to wait for the fabric, and then once it gets there, boom, it's time to go into action. Okay, so next step for me is to cut all of the fabric. I don't know about you, but cutting fabric is my least favorite part, which is why I like to cut as much of it as possible all at once, so then I can, you know, get rid of that step. But the next step for me is to cut everything as much as possible, so that I can just focus on the sewing, because once you get to the sewing, it's going to be super fast and super quick to get those orders out. So I prefer to have everything cut by style. So what I mean is all of my boxy tops will be cut at once, and then all of my bummies, and then all of my biker shorts, and then all of my tank tops, and then all of my camis, and then you get the point. So whenever I'm organizing, I'll just make a list of everything that needs to be cut per fabric. So for example, if I have like 5 different fabrics, under each one I'll write how many bummies and what sizes, right? And then I like to have everything in a bag. So this is all 3T bummies. So then after everything, as we're cutting, we're separating them back into the baggie. So again, if you have 5 different prints and you're making like, let's say 5 bummies in each print, then once you're done with one print, you separate them into the baggies, you know, and then they go into their corresponding sizes. So that's what I have here, and then let me show you some other ones. Hold on. I'm pretty sure these ones are shorts and boxy tops. So again, all of one style is in the bag with the size. So we separate by style and size. And then these are boxy tops, all 4T boxy tops, like that. And that's how I like to get myself organized for as far as cutting everything and just having it all out. I like to separate it by size, because as soon as I'm ready to pull an order, I can just pull the size. And then, yeah, it takes a little bit of digging around for the specific print, but that's besides the point. Okay, and now is where we're going to deviate from my previous video. So if you watch that video, I like to just, once one style is cut, I like to sew it all up and then be done with that style, right? But I've actually been trying something a little different. Sometimes I still do that. Sometimes I still will be like, I just want to sew bummies all day, so I just sew 100 bummies in one day, you know? Or sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want to sew tops today, or switch it around, you know, whatever. Again, find whatever works for you. So sometimes I still do that. But one of my favorite methods that I actually got from one of my friends is I like to print the shipping label and then put the items that are cut into the corresponding baggie. So their whole cut order will be in this bag. I'm actually in the process, so that's why I'm showing you just labels for now. And the way that I decide which labels to print is I'll look into my spreadsheet. So if you saw my spreadsheet, some things are highlighted and some things aren't. Everything that's highlighted is stuff that was already cut. And then some of the other things, I don't know why, oh yeah, and then everything is highlighted into a different color per style. So again, everything is always separated by style. So anyways, and then once I notice that like someone's order is like really highlighted, like almost everything is highlighted, that's when I'll pull it and I'll decide, okay, today I feel like making 20 orders. So right here I have 20 orders. And there, don't be super impressed, there's like 2 items per order. But there, I'll see, okay, I have, and then I'll pull them from one spreadsheet and move it to another page so that I have my to-do list for the day, right? And then again, I'm going to go into my sizes, pull everything that needs to be into these baggies, and then go to sewing. Okay, so again, here I have my little spreadsheet, and as you can see, I have all of the items. So now I'm going to go through by the order, and the pink is their name, like the label, the name on the label. So I'm going to get a bag, and then find the style, put it in the bag, find the style, put it in the bag, go to the next one, find the styles, and then all of these are just the cut ones. So I'm going to put all of the cut ones in the baggies and come right back to y'all. Okay, bit of a location change because my phone was dying, but I got all of the bags situated. So again, all I did was pull what items each bag needed, and now I am going to get to sewing. So all I'm going to do, pull the bag, sew it, and then put it in like a done pile. Pull a bag, sew it, then it's done. Pull a bag, sew it, then it's done. Pull a bag, sew it, then it's done. You get the point. And then after I'm finished sewing all of those, that will be 20 orders complete. And since they're already in their baggies, I can just throw in my little freebies, take out the label and package them, and then that'll be super quick. So that is pretty much my new process. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I forgot. Like I mentioned, sometimes I don't want to just do this process because it does get, you know, a little tedious, especially since batch sewing is a lot faster. So like I said, sometimes I will just decide to sew all of one style that day, and then that'll be done. And then let's say if I'm pulling an order like this, half of the items will be done, and then half of the items I need to sew. So I still need to, you know, pull the items out and see what I'm working with. But for the most part, that has been working for me, and it definitely saves a lot of time for when I'm packaging, because then everything's already in the bag, and it helps me also mentally, because mentally I can see like, wow, I finished 1 order already, 5 orders already, 10 orders already, 15 orders already, 5 more to go, and that sort of thing. So definitely anything to help with my ADHD is perfect, so I can visually see like the orders being finished. And okay, let me see if there's anything I missed. Oh yeah, and then once I'm done for the day, I can just delete the orders that I finished off of my spreadsheet. You can also like not print the label and just print their name or the order number, however you want to organize it. Like you don't have to do it with the label, but with the label, it definitely gives me a little bit more of a kick to get things done. Just because, you know, the customer already has the tracking email and everything like that. So let me see, I think that is pretty much it for this video. Hopefully it helped y'all out. If you want to see any more like behind the scenes type of videos, I'm still working on my sewing room. I saw someone request that she wants to see a sewing room tour. I definitely want to do one, but I'm still working on it. When did we move? I think we moved late April, so I'm still working on it. Or was it late March? It was early March. And I'm still not done with my sewing room. It's a mess right now. I still need to finish my industrial machine, and I still need to put things up on the wall, maybe paint. I don't know. I want to do so much for that room, but it's not finished yet. So stay tuned for that, and definitely request any more sewing videos, tutorials if you have any. But that is it for me, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.